You ready for my awesome idea?
I'm ready. Hit me.
So I guess this might clue you into how I feel about this book, but Sunlit Man, more like Sunlit Fan.
Oh,
yes.
Oh.
Yes.
So you didn't like the book that much?
No, it was awful.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome back to Lost in the Cosmere
Yeah,
podcast.
here we are. It's been a very long time since the last
the Yumi
episode.
one. So, I'm caught up.
Yeah,
I think I said that in the Yumi one, but
you did.
I am.
But
Now this is the last.
This is the
one.
last Cosmere book
I'm caught up,
we will do
Until Wind and Truth.
Wind and Truth.
and it's Sunlit Man.
Yeah.
My most.
Oh wait, should we talk about the? I'm so sorry. Should we talk about the Stormlight 5 prologue at the end of this?
Sure,
Okay.
because I have read the Stormlight 5
Yes,
prologue.
he's also read
That's
that.
it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing any of this preview chapter crap.
We've both read the Stormlight 5 prologue, but yeah, I don't want to read that much of the book before it comes out.
There's a lot being released of the book before it comes out.
I know.
It's kind of weird for Brandon's brand of being like there's always another
Okay,
secret.
to be fair, the first 12 chapters though, what is that? Like
Oh, I guess it's a lot of
100
setup.
out of the 1400 pages.
That's
right? Like
Yeah,
it's barely anything.
I guess that's true. But what were we talking about? Oh, we're talking about the prologue at the end.
Yeah.
But Sunlit Man, non-spoiler review. This is my favorite of the secret projects. But I'm kind of biased because I'm a world building snob.
It's probably my favorite too, honestly. It's just, yeah. No, it is my favorite because I love Nomad. I think Nomad is such a good character.
Yeah.
And I need more Nomad in the future. I do.
Agree.
He is like just in my head, right?
Okay.
When I think of the perfect action movie hero,
It's Nomad.
it's Nomad. Yeah. He's perfect. He's got the quips.
He's
got the heart.
He's got the plucky sidekick.
Right. He's got the plucky sidekick. He's got the badass skills.
Yeah.
Right.
He's got the weird weapon.
He's got the kindness. Right. Like he's a very kind and caring person. Like he's a hero. You know, he really feels like a classic superhero.
He really feels like the Sunlit Man.
Yeah. And yeah, he's got the snarkiness. He's just great. I love him.
I do like
He's got
Nomad a lot.
You know, he's very wise. You know, he's got some wisdom in him.
I like a good badass that's smart.
Yeah.
He's not all meathead.
Yeah.
I thought
He gets his
Nomad
ass
was
kicked
cool.
a few times in this book,
But
which
yeah.
is nice. You know, you don't want a hero that's always winning,
no,
right?
that's lame.
Yeah, it's lame.
Yes, I really like Nomad. I thought this whole story was really cool. It was really well paced too. It was really fast paced. I think it's
super fast paced.
It's probably the fastest paced book I've ever freaking read. Like I read like a quarter of this book
which
in
is
a day.
an insane thing to say because like some of those Red Rising books are insanely fast paced. You know, like
that's what it feels like. It feels like Red Rising.
It does
Red
feel like
Rising
a Red
fans
Rising,
out there.
Pacing.
Yeah,
But yeah, this book does not stop action wise. It is just
we've actually kind of mimicked the pace with how quickly we're going through.
yeah, but I mean
It's so fast.
but it's a very short book too.
correct. But not.
I think
It's only like 100 under Mistborn.
It's one of the shortest books he's written.
It's only 100 under Mistborn. But then again, page lengths are not
Page
all
length
created
and all
equal.
that. So I'll say like I think Mistborn's like 20 something hours on Audible.
Okay.
This is like 11 hours on Audible.
Oh, okay. Then
So
no,
this
it's
is a
not.
very short book.
Yeah.
It is.
I guess that's a better judge.
For Brandon. Anyway.
Brandon,
This is
yeah.
your typical novel length,
Mhm.
which is for him a short book.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, it's a good it's like a perfect Cosmere fan's delight.
yeah.
Especially reading it at this stage, because I don't know, I guess non-spoiler wise, it'll be interesting to kind of see how it holds up in a few years once new things start coming out. Because
More space age stuff.
It's not really like a spoiler. It's space age.
Yeah. Look at the cover, right?
Yeah.
Like it's got spaceships on it.
Right. So, I mean, like it'll be interesting to kind of see how it holds up in the future when more space age stuff has happened.
Mm-hmm.
But as of right now, reading it now,
Oh,
It's good.
it's very good.
It's good.
Yeah, I like it.
And all the implications.
The implications.
Spoiler time.
Yeah, spoiler time.
I should just have this on the whole time.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, hold on.
So the first big spoiler is that Nomad is not Nomad. Nomad
His real name
is
it's Sigil from
Sigil.
Stormlight.
Yeah, this book stars Sigil from Stormlight, presumably hundreds of years after Stormlight.
We don't know. It's at least decades.
Well, he does tell one character in the book that he's like hundreds of years old.
Does he?
Yeah.
Okay. Then 100 years after Stormlight. Everybody's dead.
Yeah, probably.
Unless.
But probably.
Most
of his friends are probably dead.
Let's
just say that.
You don't know that.
I am saying most of his friends are probably dead. That's why I'm saying probably. I didn't say I knew. I'm saying they're probably dead.
Well, anyway, Sigil's being hunted by the Night Brigade because he took up a Dawn Shard.
Yeah, he reveals at some point that he took up a Dawn Shard
because
from Hoyd, presumably.
Because Hoyd couldn't hold it.
Yeah,
he couldn't hold in the
him
fart.
To hold it, and then Sigil gave it up again to someone else. Maybe.
So who has it?
Somebody has it. We don't know who has it right now. Yeah. There's a lot of shit in this book, right? So Sigil's like running from the Night Brigade, and when he held the Dawn Shard, it gave him this strange ability to pretty much be able to siphon investiture from like any general source of it.
Yeah.
He's able to siphon investiture and convert it into power for his shard plate or shard blade, right?
Yes. Here.
And also able to use it in order to hop between worlds.
He skips.
Skips between worlds, but randomly. He doesn't know what planet he'll end up on.
Isn't that fun?
When he does it. It is. It's cool.
Until you get to Threnody.
God.
Or the Sleepless Planet.
No. No, don't want to think about that. But through his implications, he has been to Threnody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is
I want to read it.
Yeah, crazy.
Don't want to go there.
Yeah, me neither, man. Fuck that place. The people who live there don't even want to be there.
I know.
as evidenced by this book.
Because Nomad says it, and then I think some other book when Naz talks, he's like, "Oh, fuck,
well, the people that live on this planet, Canticle,
yes,
right? They are descendants of Threnodites, and the big thing with this planet, which is really cool, is that the sunlight melts everything down to the bedrock, right?
Correct.
It even melts the stone, right?
Yeah.
So the people from old Threnody migrated here probably through perpendicularity.
Yeah.
And they would rather live on the planet where the sunlight can melt your bones than live
Threnody.
on their home planet of Threnody. What does that tell you? What does that tell you?
I don't know. I love how this book just reinforces that I want Night Brigade.
Yeah.
Because
the Night Brigade's hunting him the whole time.
I just want to know what the evil is.
I mean, doesn't everyone?
What the fuck?
What the fuck is the evil? You know? The whole Threnodite system is fucked too. Because there's that like anomaly in the Threnodite system as well. Presumably where Odium killed Ambition. Like it created that like anomaly
thing,
and then that anomaly, like the ripples of it, like fucked the planet of Threnody, right? The whole system is like this weird, dark,
eldritch horror
part
Lovecraftian thing.
Yeah, Lovecraftian part of space.
Yes,
right. You take all this Lovecraftian stuff and this eldritch horror stuff, and then you're like, oh yeah, put it in a sci-fi. Right? And make this whole section of space, this one solar system, completely fucked.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And terrifying.
So Nomad's been there. Sigil's been there. And yeah. But anyway, back to Sunlit Man.
Back to the story of the book we're talking about.
But so he's running from the Night Brigade who's chasing after him because
they want to know him somehow to
find
track down
the location of the Dawn Shard.
Yeah, the Dawn Shard.
Which is interesting because it makes you wonder who it is. Who has it?
Yeah, who has it? I don't know.
want to put money down already. I want to jump on it.
Who do you think has it? Oh, here we go. Here we go.
I'm going to put money down. It's Lift.
Think Lift has the Dawn Shard.
I think Lift has the Dawn Shard.
Interesting. Okay. Rip Wendell, I guess. That's fucked. That would be fucked.
I mean, I don't want Wendell to go, but I think it might be Lift.
Because as far as we know about when it comes to having a Spren and Dawn Shards, they don't mix well.
No.
Right? They don't mix well.
Well, it's also technically... Does that mean there's an implication that Rip Risen?
So they've talked about how Risen will never bond to Spren. Like, because remember...
Where did they get the Dawn Shard from?
Where'd Risen get
Where did Hoyd get it from?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, maybe from... Well, we don't know if it's the same Dawn Shard Risen held. Presumably, it's the Dawn Shard that...
Everybody's dying.
Hoyd originally held because of the rule it enforces. Because the rule it enforced upon Hoyd is that he cannot harm living people, right?
Mm.
And like that, like he held it for so long that it's like, yeah, no, he cannot harm living people no matter what.
Okay.
And Sigil held it for a brief enough time to where he can find ways to circumvent it a little bit.
Yeah.
At least now, after the end of this book, he can.
Yeah.
Circumvent that a little bit.
Interesting.
So yeah, presumably the same Dawn Shard. So I definitely think Risen has a different one.
Okay.
I also think that's been confirmed. They have different shards. I just don't know the names of all of the Dawn Shards. Unfortunately.
How many are there?
4. Yes. There are 4 Dawn Shards.
And he hasn't confirmed where those are, though.
Where all of them are? No.
We just know of Risen's and then Sigil's. Well, not Sigil's. He doesn't have it.
Yeah, I believe we only know.
Does he have it?
2
No,
of
he doesn't
them.
have it now.
Sigil doesn't have it now.
No, he gave it off to somebody else.
Yes.
That's right. Because I just guessed it was Lift.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I just made that random guess.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. Who knows, right?
I mean, Brandon said that she has a big deal in the second half of Stormlight. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing is that it seems like he gets the Dawn Shard like much later. You know, like in his 30s is when he said he stopped aging.
Isn't he like 20 now?
He's 20 something now.
What if there's a 10-year time jump?
Yeah, 10-year time jump. So maybe he'll get it. He'll definitely probably get it in the second half. But the next biggest implication of this book, not really an implication, pretty much confirmed in this book, is that he is no longer a Windrunner.
Yeah,
he's a Skybreaker now.
Which is kind of weird.
Which means something happened to his first bond with his honor spren.
Yeah.
Right? So, there are really 2 tragedies with Sigil when it comes to this book, right? Because something happened with that first bond with his honor spren.
Correct.
Either he betrayed his oaths or his honor spren was killed somehow, something like that, right? Because as we know now, you know, spren are no longer safe in this conflict.
Yeah.
Right? They can get fucking straight up erased by anti-investiture, which sucks for them.
Yep.
It really sucks for them considering they also had to worry about their humans not killing them.
Yeah.
Right. But so either one of those 2 things happened to his honor spren. And then at some point, it seems like he joined the Skybreakers and got a high spren. And it seems when he took upon the Dawn Shard and used its power, that it started to siphon all the investiture around him, including the investiture that made up Auxiliary,
the high spren,
his high spren. And so it left Auxiliary with only like their physical body and like their consciousness, I believe.
Yeah.
Because it siphoned all the personality, I think, out of Auxiliary.
Yes, because the way that Auxiliary is kind of described when they talk is like
very monotone.
Yeah.
Always monotone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why did he swap? That's another like the amount of questions that get raised.
Why did he become a Skybreaker?
Yeah.
He implies that he fails as a leader at one point, which is presumably his new position as the leader of the Windrunners.
Currently. Yeah, so that's kind of the weird thing.
There's a lot of questions into what happens with Sigil throughout Stormlight.
So I'm wondering if he's going to fail as a leader in Wind and Truth.
Yeah, me too.
But the back half, he's going to swap to the Skybreakers.
I could see it happening for sure.
Because, yeah. Especially because I think we're going to start getting a little bit more Skybreaker action.
I think
now
so.
that Zeth is a little bit more involved with the story.
Mm-hmm.
Not that he hasn't been, but like,
he will be much more involved now. Yeah.
POV and Wind and Truth. So I don't know.
A lot of questions regarding his backstory, right? / future.
A little bit. The weird gap between this book and
very weird.
Whatever the frick happened and whatever happened in Wind and Truth or in Rhythm of War.
Yeah, it's gonna be curious to see what goes down.
Yeah. But I enjoyed the fact that Brandon decided to give Sigzil a lot of this. I honestly didn't even think about him being kind of an endgame character. I know we talked about endgame characters before, but
I never had thought of it before this book.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
But I'm happy that he's kind of given the prominent members of Bridge 4 their time to shine. You know,
yes,
Tef's no longer with us, but he did get his time to shine.
He did,
heavily,
especially in Rhythm.
But Lopin got a book.
Yeah,
Rock's hopefully going to get that Horn-Eater book, and then that fuck Moash is one of the main.
At least his ass is blind now.
I wonder if R'laine will get a book.
God, I hope so. I hope R'laine is definitely going to be a more prominent character
in the back half.
At least, not in this next one, then hopefully in the back half.
I would think so.
He has to be because Renarin will be.
He's a POV in book 7. Unless anything changes according to Brandon. Yes. Do you know the POVs?
What
I
is
do.
It? So it's
Lift in 6, Renarin in
Lift,
7,
Yasna's
Renarin. 10.
Well, yeah, I know that. I'm just
Talon.
Talon and Ash.
And Ash.
Yes.
Oh my gosh! You know what? Speaking of Talon, this has nothing to do with the book. I'm just manifesting this here, but Brandon showed off the bookends for Wind and Truth, like of the pictures of the heralds.
Yeah,
and he talked about because Talon has one of the pictures, and he implied that the picture of Talon has like been hanging up in his like living room. Dude, he needs to make they need to sell those like posters.
Yeah, posters.
Because I would get the Talon one, honestly.
Talon is just Talon or Nail. Yeah, they're both so awesome.
Yeah,
but Talon is just so badass, especially when they have they're fighting Ishar at the end of Rhythm, right? And the Stormfather's talking to Dalinar, and he's like, among the heralds, Ishar was average in skill, right? And he's kicking Sigzil's ass, two other third ideal windrunners, and then it's 4 or 5 windrunners. He's kicking all their asses like it's nothing, and then he goes toe to toe with Sigzil, right? And he's like, yeah, he's an average herald, It's like, who? And Dalinar's like, oh, who was the best? Talon, easily, bro.
Oh my gosh,
Talon was the best, bro. He was so good.
Actually, you're bringing that up. What if that's what kind of started the moving away from the Windrunners? Is the fact that Ishar fucked with Sigzil's bond?
Maybe. I mean,
does that mean that Lynn's gonna get hers screwed up too? Because she was there.
She was. But the Stormfather did say whatever he did to them would, because he didn't try to fuck with their bonds. He did try to fuck with Dalinar's, right? Where he tried to forcibly bond himself to the Stormfather, but he just connected. The fuck thing he did to the others was connect them to the earth.
Oh, I guess that's,
He bonded them to the earth, which meant their consciousness
was connected to the planet.
Thought that the planet was a part of their body, which gave them the headaches. Which, by the way, can you imagine if your head was connected to the ground for even a split second?
Yeah, it's
imagine the fucking headache that would give you.
The headaches I have with allergies are bad enough.
I know. So,
yeah, but yes,
yeah, crazy.
Anyway, back. Back to Sunlit Man.
Right before this, hey, let's talk about this book, and we talk about everything.
And we talk about everything but the book. Yeah. So Sunlit Man.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting.
Good.
I thought it was interesting kind of seeing floating cities and stuff. There was weird ass Jetsons crap in this book.
Floating cities, hovering like bikes and shit. It's awesome.
Okay, you know what? We do need to talk about
the people with the cinder
shard
people. Yeah.
So we need to talk about the most fucked up power system in the whole Cosmere, because it's this.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's a more fucked up one?
The only thing I could think of would be hemalurgy.
This is pretty fucked up.
I mean, it is, but so is getting like
You know what?
The thing is with classic hemalurgy is that they had to you have to get stabbed. 2 people have to get stabbed, right?
Yeah.
The person in front of you, and then you have to get stabbed.
Yeah.
Like you have to stab through 2 people.
It's like
right?
it's
so like when they were creating Inquisitors, they would place a person on top of you and stab the spikes through their eyes.
I know. It's like the old.
This is definitely up there with hemalurgy.
With the hemalurgy, it's like the old where they joke about like doctors in the 1800s. Yes, well, I know you have a cataract, so let's take an ice pick and remove the eyeball really quick.
Let's remove your eyeball, fix those cataracts, and then pluck it back in. What do you think?
In, and it'll work.
Yeah.
How about take some heroin?
Yeah. My good man. Oh, you have a sneeze? Yes, take this heroin, good man.
And it'll fix it right up.
Yeah. That sneeze will be gone just like that.
But
and you'll be on it.
I guess the most fucked up part about the power system is that it doesn't have to be.
Right. By the end of the book, the power system becomes much less fucked. But at the beginning,
you still got to start it though.
They did have to start it, but now they should be good.
They should be good.
They should be good for now.
Still pretty screwed up the fact that you just have to leave people out and then they get shriveled up into a crystal.
Yeah. So you have to leave people out and their bodies completely burn away and melt into nothing, right? But their souls get compacted into this sphere, right? That like supercharged, and then their soul like acts as like this.
Messenger.
Yeah, well, this soul acts as this thing that traps all the investiture from the sunlight into this ball.
Well, because the one thing that like was like is when Sigil picks up one, and he kind of like, I kind of see a face in that.
Yeah, he's like, it's weird, like it's not, but it gives me the impression of.
I can kind of see a face in that, like,
terrifying.
Yeah,
terrifying shit.
Yeah.
Also, they have shades just chilling out in tubes on their ships.
Okay,
They build them
what
things.
the fuck was that? That's crazy.
You're weird for that, Brandon. That's weird.
That's weird.
Shades are terrifying. You're to tell me
What
they
happens
just have
if
them
they
in
get
tubes?
out?
They kind of said what happens if they get out. They'll kill them all. Like they were like, let's pray they don't get out. Because Sigil got there and he's like, what if they get out? And they're like, let's hope they don't. Everyone
that is not how you start.
Everyone there was just like,
hopefully they don't.
Hopefully they don't.
No, not hopefully they don't. Why are they here?
And those shades are weird too because they somewhat have
a face,
like awareness.
Yeah,
you know, like they have some kind of awareness, and they'll speak back sometimes, and then they will create things for them.
So there is, there is a consciousness
there is
to
some
them.
awareness in there.
Yeah, so that's a big thing with
also
this.
A desire
actually,
to kill all of them.
It actually establishes the fact that the shades do have.
Yeah.
Now,
and I think when the Threnodites die too, they do leave behind a shade.
So
and that shade gets compressed into the ball, right? That's
what's her name? The main girl. That's her name.
Yeah. I don't.
Are you for real? Hold on a second.
God damn it.
Her brother dies very early when Sigil's trying to escape.
Her sister's captured and turned into a...
Well, was already.
Yeah, it was captured.
Rebecca,
I think, yeah.
The implication is that not an implication. She thinks she can see her brother's like shade in the...
Yes.
In the tube, but we don't really know. That could also just be like a grief-stricken person. Because she kind of goes through the ringer with this. Like even Sigil talks about it. It's one of those
mysteries that I really like. You know, it kind of mirrors how people view deaths in our own world, right? Because like somebody close to you could die, and I know a lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, every time I see like a canary now, I think of that person. Like it's them watching me, right?" That's kind of like their version of that, right? Where it's like there's nothing really to prove or disprove that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Well, because Sigil even talks about it, like she kind of goes through the ringer with this because there's like a moment where he's like, "Yeah, I gotta let her like grieve for like once." I think he even yells at one of like the 3 council lady people.
Yeah,
and it's like, let her grieve for like 5 freaking minutes. Like,
but the thing about their culture is that they really don't have any time.
They don't have time for it
for any of it. You know, like for any of the bullshit. You know, their whole society is revolved around volunteers. Sacrificing themselves,
right?
So and they take like At one point, he's talking about how like nobody is on a regular sleep schedule. Like everyone just takes like hour-long naps out of nowhere, right?
That's so fucked.
So it's just so weird.
It's so funny because I think about like anytime there's like a storyline of like, or like just anything, right? Where they're talking about like, oh, we took the night shift of like sleep, like just sleep schedule type things. And I'm just like, that sounds like the worst thing ever. You're going to live your life like that.
Yeah.
Every day. All the time. No.
Just take hour-long naps when you feel like it. And
that's crazy.
And shit.
But yeah, that's crazy that he was just like, yeah, they have like a tank. They have a little fish tank of shades. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Yeah, I just love when he realizes they're Threnodites and he's like, oh, fuck. Like he's scared like they're going to die and turn into shades like at any second. He's like, oh my God. Like,
well, so does that mean that shades are invasive species?
I guess. I mean, humans would be invasive species at that point, right? Because this planet really didn't have humans until Threnodites arrived there.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then Threnodites are invasive species.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure it's the shades that they leave behind that get burned into those balls, because remember there's that, because that's what like supercharges them. And then there was that one Thalen that got left out in the sun.
Oh yeah,
the villain left him out in the sun, and it turned him into a much smaller, weaker, glowing orb. What do they call those again? There's a name for them.
What?
The balls?
Sun hearts.
Sun hearts. Yes, thank you.
They're not balls.
Yeah,
they're like a crystal more.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, I guess.
But also, like, the way that the Cinder King, like, makes his little soldiers is also pretty fucked up, because he's essentially taking an iron poker and then putting it in your chest cavity.
Yeah. Yum.
Like, I mean, like, he literally describes as, like, the women's, their, like, breasts are burned away. Like, and their chest cavity is just constantly open. Like, it's screwed up. Yeah,
their chest cavities are just hollow and charred, and there's that sun heart in the middle.
That's why they're called the Charred.
Yeah. Yeah, the Cinder King is a good villain.
I think really he's a good maniacal, like, just
that's the thing.
Twirl the mustache man.
Sazed meets him. Sigzil meets him.
If only.
When Sigzil meets him, he's really like, yeah, I've met like 100 of you. You know, you really don't scare me that much.
Bro.
Yeah, you ain't shit.
You're not
like,
shit, bro.
I've met you before. Like, you're pretty dumb. You think you were, you're great. All that. You think you're smarter than you are.
Yeah.
I really like that moment when he first meets him, because he's like, you're not even
special, a good dictator, bro.
Yeah. Like
really
from the beginning, it kind of establishes that, yeah, this guy's like not the scariest villain ever, but he is still a threat. You know, he is still threatening. So I think he's a very good villain.
He's got a good Indiana Jones villain.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Because they're all kind of just like, you just kind of say shit that you want to say, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, he's just an evil guy. He's just an evil guy.
Why don't you get melted real quick?
Yeah, get melted.
Yeah.
Get melted.
Oh, okay. So I wanted to ask, so I know there's a lot of like, before they reveal that Nomad's Sigzil, there's a lot of like hints, because they talk about like things that remind him of like his old life and blah, 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 blah. But there's one that I haven't like found anybody like talk about, and I haven't done like extensive research, but there's like, he saves somebody in the little gladiatorial arena Cinder King thing.
Yeah.
And he says that like the guy reminded him of somebody back home. And the only feature the only feature that he gave of the guy was that he had like kind of like a gap
in his tooth.
And I was like, is he talking? Because I didn't remember. Does Lift have a gap?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know why, for some reason in my head, she does.
I thought he
not like a crazy.
It was one of the bridgemen, for sure.
Probably David.
Yeah, David, I think.
I don't know. Tell us in the comments, because.
But yeah, it's those little things too. You know,
the airsick lowlander quip was like the big one. That it was just kind of like,
maybe he was right. Maybe we are airsick or something like that.
Yeah, I did like that one.
Yeah, that one's good.
Oh, I miss Rock, dude.
I know, buddy.
I miss his cooking.
I know. Take everything you have and put it in a pot.
The shells, they make the crunch.
Yeah.
You cannot have it without the crunch. We should do that one time.
Take everything we
should
have.
We should make shellfish pot and just stick it in. Like you have to eat it with the shell.
Okay.
We're not gonna do that.
No.
That's a horrible idea. Because we're airsick lowlanders.
Yeah. This book is good. And the Sun Hearts are cool, and the Chart are cool.
Let's talk more about the
Cinder
fact
King's
that
cool.
the Scadrians are
just chilling there.
They're just chilling. They're crazy, fucked up scientists.
Yeah, they're just sitting there.
They're just hiding in a little mountain.
You know. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
One of my favorite lines from this book.
Okay.
Right,
yeah.
Is when Sigil meets the Scadrians, right? When they finally make it to their ship, right?
Yeah.
And it's basically exactly what he expected. He's like, oh, fuck. Like, even he had some little hope.
Yeah.
Right? Because all the people around him, all their hope inspired him to hope. Right? Mm-hmm. But he's like, oh, yep, this is exactly what I thought. It's just a small ass research station.
Yep.
You know? When he learns the secret to making the Sun Hearts, work again, because I think what did the Scadrians tell him? They're like, oh yeah, if you just have somebody from this planet
touch it,
put a little bit of their heat into it,
it thinks that it's a soul.
And then you leave it out, for the sunlight, right?
Charge
the heat will trap all of the investiture in there. And like when he realized that, he's like, why didn't you tell them
anything?
And the lady, right? This is just, if you think about it in the context of this meeting, right? Because this is how it's presented to us. This is just a simple researcher, right? So you could look at her as maybe a representation of Scadrian culture.
Okay.
Right? So a representation of the whole planet. I know, like, obviously, everyone's different, but this is a representation of maybe the mindset of a lot of people.
Would you say like the main line? Because like the Ghost Bloods there's a good amount of, I would say, Scadrians and Ghost Bloods. And they're just different. Her
thought process is probably the same philosophy of everyone on the ship. And maybe we're left to assume a lot of people on Scadrial have this philosophy. And it's all this one line where she's like, why would we give up such a valuable secret?
So fucked up.
Right? Why would we give that up? Right?
Why not?
They don't have anything to offer us. That's a secret for us, right? Why would we give up such a valuable secret to them?
It's so
for
fucked
nothing.
Up. It's so fucked up.
And that is Kelsier's entire philosophy, right? So if that doesn't reinforce my belief that at some point Kelsier is going to return as the Messiah and like unify the entire planet, right? I don't know what else does. I think that really shows.
Oh, you think that's evidence that this is like at this point in time he is.
I think that's evidence that at this point in time
he is. He's
most Scadrians are
survivorists
or under like Malwish influence, something of the sort, right? Because secrets are a very big Kelsier thing, you know. Yeah. They're not a very big Harmony thing.
No, they're
a
not.
big Kelsier thing.
Oh, if he did something to my baby boy, I'm gonna be pissed, bro. I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, I mean, by the time we get to Air 3, Wax will be long dead, gone. And everyone will be pretty much dead. But
yeah,
it'll be a new set of characters like always. But still, yeah, To me, that just says
no. I mean, you make a good point on it because it's
Scadrians are in a point right now in their history where they are exploiting other planets for their secrets and resources.
Screwed up.
Yeah, but we do know there are multiple factions of Scadrians. Like somebody I believe said, say Sigil talks about how this faction in particular are called the Timekeepers, and they're like there's like he's like, this is all in the book, I'm pretty sure, where he's like, yeah, supposedly they're a neutral party and they're definitely not a secret organization that builds weapons for Scadrial's military. They're definitely not.
Yeah,
no way
I do
the
remember
Timekeepers
that line.
are doing that. No, they are a neutral organization. And I repeat, they are not a military branch of Scadrial building weapons. No way they would do that.
He still has his like stupid wit, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting, especially with Isles of the Emberdark coming out because of the way that Six of Dust ends, where there's kind of that like, should you guys kind of give stuff away?
Yeah.
That early? But then it's stuff like this where it's like, why are you not giving stuff away?
Mm-hmm.
These people are literally living by running constantly.
And it all centers down to that Kelsier philosophy of protect Scadrial at all costs.
Only Scadrial.
And only the allies of Scadrial too, right? Like anyone allied with him, he will protect like family, right? Like they're part of his own. Like that's why he's like, he's the Ghostbloods are an organization of people from all different planets, right?
Yeah.
And so
I would assume mostly Scadrial though.
He'll take them in, right? And he'll treat them like part of his crew, right? And his crew is his family, right? And he talks about making alliances with like that planet Mythos that we know nothing about, right? At the end of Lost Metal.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, oh, there's that.
Yeah.
Like
he
meant it's the only time the planet
like,
is ever
we don't
mentioned,
even know anybody
right?
from it.
But like, so he's not opposed to forming alliances with other planets and presumably like taking on a similar idea of, like that planet is allied with me. Like, let's protect them.
Mm-hmm.
But to him, this is some backwater planet that has nothing to offer him.
We're just assessing if you're a threat.
Yeah, he's just assessing if they're a threat, going to exploit them for their resources, and that's that, right? So yeah, it's all about protecting Scadrial and the people he cares about specifically, right? So if he never grows to care about those people, then to him they're just nobles.
Damn. What a mic drop, bro.
Mic drop.
Oh my God.
Also, I wonder if there's a lot of factions on Scadrial, like the Timekeepers are a separate faction, but they're not really separate factions, Like maybe I wonder if there's
you saying, what you're implying that like you think that there's like maybe like really only in separate
publicly there's a lot of factions, but maybe
they're
privately
all just the Ghostbloods.
They're all just working under the Scattering government / the Ghostblood. I wonder, you never know. Maybe like maybe the North still does exist on Scadrial, and they're like the sole holdout, and the rest of the planet is unified.
I guess we're not going to know until Era 3.
Yeah, like for all we know, the North could still exist, but now the Malwish and the Southern Continent is the superpower of the planet, right? So, you never know. Like any number of things could happen. It's not just the South winds or the North winds, right?
What about the East? What about the West?
They aren't those just like barren tundra and stuff?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
unless
just a bunch of tigers.
Hey, we thought that the South was kind of barren tundra.
Yeah,
and then the masked people came, and they were like, "Ooh, we like the Spike Man. We like the Spike. We like the Spike Man.
We like the Spike Man."
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up.
Anyway, Scadrians are kind of fucked up in this book. At least the ones that we meet.
I think it's interesting because there's almost like
and there's some implications about when they meet him too.
Are there implications?
There's nothing but implications.
That's the thing is.
Yeah.
So there's this implication.
I mean, there's just a lot of small things, right? Like it's almost impossible to talk about everything in this book because it's just it's really short, but there's so much shit.
And they're really just like one sentence things.
And they're one sentence things that imply
a lot.
Like whole books of shit, right?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's like these little things, and it's just so hard to talk about them. But like they meet him, and they're like, "Oh, are you bonded? Have you said the oaths?" And he's like,
"No."
He's like, "No, I haven't said the oaths." Right? Straight up lying.
No.
Right? So common people to this day know about Radiance, right? Like the common Scadrians know about Radiance. They know about blades because he says he has a blade, right? So they know about all these things, right? And they're like, they also like. Ask him, they're like, do you have a side in the conflicts? Right? Right? Do you participate in the conflicts or whatever? And he's like, no, right? So a million questions. Conflicts between Roshar and Scadrial, conflicts between Roshar and the rest of the civilized planets, conflicts between Roshar and the other countries, between Honor and Odium, conflicts between what, right?
Everything.
Yeah, everything, I guess, right? They kind of automatically assume he's they seem to assume he's a Lethi right off the bat, right? They seem to have this impression that all Rosharans are big and strong and violent and scary, right?
That's kind of racist.
Yeah, it is. But you never know what could happen with Roshar in the end, right? Maybe they will be.
Dude, if you hurt the Horn Eaters, I'm going to be pissed. You can't hurt the Horn Eaters. They'd kick your ass.
What else? They also ask him if he speaks a civilized language like Malwish.
Ooh,
that's what they say. They say, do you speak a civilized language like Malwish? Right.
I was trying to remember what line that they say because they do imply like Malwish. And I was like,
they say Malwish. Malwish is their language. That's what they speak. That's their civilized language.
Oh, yeah. Kelsier's definitely back. And he's like,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Or at the very least, Malwish is now the dominant superpower.
Comrade?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yikes.
Malwish is now the dominant superpower, I think.
Okay. So that's what the whole Ghost Blood's Cold War thing is going to kind of be about.
Probably, maybe.
But it might not necessarily end cold.
Oh. I just hope they don't start dropping nukes on Ellendale. Hey, let's drop some invested nukes.
Oh my god,
on
dude.
Ellendale, dude. Let's waste the paradise that Harmony made. Anyway, that would be nuts. That would be nuts.
What if Kelsier like kind of gives sway to Harmony that takes more ruin side out of him and he becomes Discord, which allows Kelsier the ability to drop invested nukes on Ellendale, and then it's all gone. And then the only thing kind of holding Kelsier back possibly, which was his love for Vin and Dox and well, not Ellen, because he fucking hates Ellen.
He did not like Ellen.
And Breeze and stuff.
The only reason he ever was okay with Ellen is because he loved Vin so much.
Yeah. But, like, if he got rid of Ellendale, that's, like, the only thing that could probably stop him from just going fucking megalomaniac.
Oh, man. I don't know.
And really, does he really want to have a city on his planet named after...
The thing is, he doesn't want to kill Scadrians, is the thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't want to just kill Scadrians in cold blood. Maybe unless they have nobility in their blood.
But a lot of the people coming in the northern continent are from noble blood.
True. A lot of northerners.
He's going to Aaron Yeager that.
Oh, my God.
He's going to do it. Brandon?
He'll probably come to the north. He'll probably
do that.
He'll probably come to the north, be like, all my survivors homies.
Oh,
it's time for a purge. Let's take over the city. Anyway, we're talking about Sunlit Man. And
my brain is broken.
All the implications.
What other implications do we want to talk about that aren't that fucked up? Oh, wait. They're all
fucked up. Like, I just don't know.
There's a lot. Oh, I think Sigzil confirmed that Cultivation's a dragon.
I think he did. But also Brandon confirmed that. In words of Brandon, I'm pretty sure.
Whatever, bro.
Like, yeah.
Whatever. What other implications do we want to talk about?
I'm trying to think if there are more implications. Now I'm just really thinking about key moments from the book that I really, really love.
Him going out when they're like, okay, my favorite moment in the book is when he's talking about he's trying to figure out how they can make their escape, and he's talking to Zeal, and he's like, so how high can these ships go? And he's like, they're like only like a couple thousand feet up in the air, and I literally did the same. I had the same double take.
I think he says like only like 1,000 feet in the air.
Yeah, and I literally had the same double take. I had a double take, and I'm like, isn't that only like a couple miles?
Yeah, like not even.
And then Sigzil goes, wait, isn't that only like? He did the same thing as me, and I'm like,
he's like, that's not that high. Like, I think by the end he comes to the realization that the planet is like 90 miles across.
Yeah.
Like, it's the smallest fucking planet ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's weird.
It's a weird planet.
Ass, highly invested planet.
Because he even wonders if it's oval shaped too, because of the way that some of the gravity.
Because they have to crest over those mountains, and he's like, oh, these mountains seem weird. Like, I wonder if it's because the literal shape of the planet is an oval. So it's not a mountain. It's the stretched out shape of the planet.
Well, because they say that the whole planet, the planet's surface is reset every day, but there's still like the poles.
Right.
Wouldn't those be reset?
Unless they are sticking out of the influence of the core of the planet. Yeah. So that's why it's oval shaped, because the sunlight's going around this way, and these are just barely peeking out the sides.
That one's so weird. That one's a weird one.
very, very weird.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, him going out into the, like on the ship so he can knock the other pieces of like the big ship off where it's like freezing cold. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. I really like that whole sequence because up until this point, we've seen how intelligent he is tactically,
but not
combatively.
Yeah.
But now we see just how pure intelligent he really is because Sigil has always been that character.
I think that's the whole book, honestly.
Yeah. But Sigil has always been that character where he talks in Stormlight about how he just wants to learn things, you know? He just loves learning things about other cultures, about pretty much anything.
And isn't that the sad irony of his character now, that he has to constantly run away from the planets that he can't learn?
It is also,
he has to fast track learn about it.
Right, yeah, that's the thing. He has to fast track learn about
He doesn't get to like experience it.
But he has been alive for so long that like bro knows basic rocket engineering. Right? like bro,
it's just rocket science.
Maybe he's been alive 300 years, but like, yeah, he's had the time to learn basic rocket engineering.
Because that's the other fun part is he's like, are you going to be able to like get it done? And
like, that's the thing. He might not be an like expert, but he's like almost that character is like, he's a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, let me get you guys started. And then all your people who know a little bit more about engineering than me can finish the job kind of thing. It's like, yeah, it's just so cool seeing him do basic rocket science to help
And he just kind of shrugs it off.
Yeah. But it's just cool, like seeing that aspect of his character come to light because it's like he hasn't regressed as much as you might have think like he has, right? Like he's still that person that loves learning.
He hasn't regressed as much as he thinks he has.
Exactly.
I think it's a more is a better
definitely
one.
Definitely
because it's clear. Like I mean, like the way, like once you know it's Sigil, it's like he kind of just seems the same.
If anything, he's just like a little more
sheltered.
Not sheltered, but like he's like he doesn't care. Like he puts off the vibe that he doesn't care as much, right? Like he's a little looser. He's like, oh yeah, you know, like it is what it is. Yeah. Whereas before he's like a little more reserved, a little more nervous. But now he's just like, yeah, fuck it, you know, kind of thing. Because he's been through so much. So yeah,
and everybody knows he's dead except for Wit. That fuck.
Like he's a little more jaded, I guess is the word.
Yeah,
yeah.
I also did really like the conversation between him and Hoyt.
Yes, very good.
Because it also gave kind of that.
There's one line that you really like from that, right? Where he points out to Wit that Wit kind of leaves him.
That he kind of, So that was a line that, because I did think about that after a while, was that it's like, yeah, Hoyt was kind of just like there chilling. His student's been like a slave for like a year and he just
didn't do anything.
Did he think about it?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Did he do anything about it?
I mean, yeah. And yeah, he really confronts Wit there and he's like, yeah, you just kind of.
Like he was right there.
Like you meet these people and then you form connections with them, but then you just put them out of your mind so that you don't have to feel guilt about
that's what Hoyt said.
What happens to them. Yeah.
I'm sure Hoyt has his reasons, but you know that it's kind of like
no, Hoyt definitely has his problems. I mean, there's still that big thing in Words of Radiance where he's like, hey, Dalinar, if I have to watch this planet burn to get what I want,
I will.
I'll cry while doing it, but I'll still do it.
I'll fucking do it.
Yeah.
And that's what's great about Brandon's characters, because he isn't afraid to make characters like that, where it's like Hoyt is like, yeah, it's Hoyt. He's like funny. He's silly. He's wearing socks and sandals and dress.
He helps all these people through their emotional distress.
Time.
There's that.
He would burn a freaking planet.
There's that darkness to him. Yeah.
And it's like.
He doesn't want to.
But what is it? Like the mysteries are unraveled in the whole Cosmere so well that you don't know why he's doing this. Why is he doing all this? What is he? What is his end goal kind of thing?
Still don't know his end goal. Yeah.
There has to be. He's the silly guy. He plays the flute. He tells the silly stories about the dog and the dragon. Like he can't be that bad. I mean, I know he said he's gonna burn a planet, but I can fix him. Like that's the thing. Like I don't understand what the problem is.
Fix him. He's only 10,000 years old.
So, but he unravels the mystery so much that it's like, what is that goal? What is the reasoning why he like people like Sigil, like a star fucking pupil for him, star pupil, because you're seeing it in this book, where he's just dropping rocket science like he doesn't fucking give a shit, and it's like, and you left him in a slave camp, for a year, or more,
and
you were like, I could just walk over there and get him out.
Yeah, but didn't.
I was too busy telling jokes.
Right. Yeah.
I was too busy saying that I fuck Sadius's mom.
It's a really good conversation between him and Hoyd, for sure.
I love Hoyd.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I love him too.
That little fuck.
I love Zellion. We haven't used his new name yet.
He's got so many different names. That one's weird because it keeps swapping. And I do like the fact that when he starts doubting himself, the book starts swapping it back to Nomad.
Yeah.
Nice one. Nice, Brandon. Good job. I like that one. I'm serious. I'm not being sarcastic.
I like the revelation that he can use the Thalen's Sunheart to siphon off some of the power of the Dawn Shard.
Yeah.
Right? I also like how by the end of the book, he becomes a part of the planet's culture. Like he fully gains that full connection to the planet. So he's probably by the end of the book, like he doesn't even really need specifically the Thalen Sunheart to do it. But
we don't know.
But it is cool that he has it, right? So
you know what? Can I also say what I really like is that the Beaconites don't know if he's alive or not. I love that.
Oh, me too.
It's like such a good
he doesn't know for sure if they're alive or not.
I love that.
Right? Because when he skips at the end of the book and he's sitting on the beach, he mentions how he waits a couple hours before summoning back his blade.
Yeah.
Because it's protecting them right now and he doesn't want them to be burned to a crisp. Right? So he's like, okay, they should for sure be good by now. Like, but I don't know for sure.
But that's all I can do. Yeah. Like, he also says the "I'll see what I can do" line. Yeah. He does. And I was like,
I still love how much of an impact too Kaladin has on his mental state.
Yes, because when he sees Hoyd, that's his first. He's like,
imagine Kaladin is dead by the end of book 5, right? Imagine Kaladin dies at a very young age, right? And Sigzil's 300, right? So Sigzil's like been alive for way longer than Kaladin ever has at this point.
Yeah,
like he's a super old man. He's a super powerful being now too, but
Kaladin's still in his head.
His friend, is still this beacon in his mind, this man who saved him, this close friend to him, like his like role model in a way. Yeah. Right. It still has so much impact over him. And I love that.
If Kaladin's dead.
Yeah. 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 You never know. Okay. We'll see.
Nah.
I also like how he talks about how he loves the feel of the rain on his skin in this book. Right. How he's like, yeah, a lot of the other windrunners, they loved the feel of the wind.
But he likes the rain.
I've always loved the feel of the rain.
The rain, yeah.
Yeah. I just like, that's a small little distinction I really like.
Yeah, it's interesting.
From Sigzil.
Yeah.
Maybe he was a little more Skybreaker than we ever thought he was.
Yeah, I mean, so that kind of brings up an interesting point is that, like, can people swap if they change over time?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, can they still be radiant, but they can...
That's a very interesting question.
If something happens traumatically that causes them to change,
is there a way
viewpoints drastically?
Is there a way to mutually separate a bond between human and Spren? Yeah, I don't know. Because the Knights Radiant, they,
axed them.
Yeah, they fully severed their connection to the Spren, killing them.
Right, but could there,
I don't know. There's definitely people, though, that can fit the descriptions for both, and it really is just about what Spren finds you first or what Spren you find first, I guess. I don't think it's really a one-to-one thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, is that all the implications?
I think that's pretty much it for, like...
I really like this
small
one.
Things that are implied.
I mean, seriously, I did really like this one. I'm happy that Sigzil kind of got the biggest book, honestly. Yeah. And I'm happy that he's kind of an endgame character going, because he will be. Because I think Brandon's even said that he is going to be. Yeah. Like in the postscript, I think he says that he is.
In the postscript that he is going to be. He also says in the postscript that Zellion was his gamer tag for a while.
Yeah,
that's why he gave him that name.
Yeah, I do like that.
We can talk about my favorite moment of the book really quick, which is when Auxiliary sacrifices himself to save Sigzil.
I do like that.
I really love that moment because it really is this last thing Sigzil's holding on to, right?
Yeah.
Like Auxiliary is pretty much already gone.
But it's like all he has left of Roshar.
But yeah, that's all he has left. And you can really tell, like him and Auxiliary really do have this, this deep bond. I mean, it's a man and his friend, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a very deep connection there, though, right?
Yeah.
And he has to give that up, right? And it's this connection to his old life, and more than that, just his friend that sacrifices himself.
Yeah.
But more than that, it's followed up by the most badass scene ever of him
big
getting
shield.
his armor back and
That
using a big shield to save all the people,
the Beaconites
on the ground, all the Beaconites. Yes, thank you, on the ground, right? But the coolest piece of artwork from that book
is him flying
through the storm.
Yes,
right. The sunlight beating down, the fire beating down on his armor, right, as he's flying through, and like the ash, like the smoke coming off of it as he flies, and it forms a glyph behind him.
Oh yeah,
of the Skybreakers.
No, I know which one you're talking about, because
my god, it's so
that
cool.
one's really good. If you want to pick up, if we can pick up a little Luna here,
Looney, booty down.
Here, let me find it.
Yeah, find it.
Oh, I just had it. This one.
Oh my god. Oh my god. It's so good. It's so good. So badass.
It's really fucking badass.
Tell me that's not an action hero scene.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's so good.
That's an Iron Man action hero scene.
Yes.
That's why he likes it.
That's why I like it.
Little Iron Man fanboy over here. That's
but
why
it's
he likes
so cool.
It. Yeah, it is.
And
cool.
then his final fight with the Cinder King is insanely good too.
Oh, because it's a mud fight, bro.
It's a mud fight,
Getting
and not only that,
dirty.
by the end, like the Cinder King's doing the thing where he's like trying to steal his heat, and he's like, "Oh shit, it's working now." Go ahead.
Not only that, but he's got a fucking weight band.
Yeah,
a ferrochemist band on.
Yeah, that's
weighing him down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
guy.
So it's weird because that's a band that's not giving him the abilities of a ferrochemist.
No,
it's a band that is
throwing it back,
enforcing the abilities of a ferrochemist on him by increasing his weight. Crazy, cool thing. That's awesome. That's awesome.
That implication.
The implication there, yeah.
Because of the implication.
There's one more implication, I guess, too, that I'll bring up.
Oh, of course.
But yeah, he has this mud fight with the Cinder King. Right? The Cinder King tries to steal his heat, but then he flips it back and he's like, Uno, reverse card. I'm going to steal all the investiture from your Sun Heart. And the Cinder King starts shitting his pants, and then he uses all of it to like skip off planet before the sunlight hits. Yeah. So cool. So cool.
What was the implication there?
No, the other implication I want to bring up is the implication with his armor. He kind of asks to himself where he stands with his oaths at this point. Mm-hmm. And that brings up an interesting thought for me as well, is like, if your spren dies one way or the other, does the bond still exist? Do your oaths still exist?
Yeah, because he didn't kill Auxiliary.
Right? He didn't kill Auxiliary, right? Like he didn't
betray it.
Specifically didn't betray his oaths. It's only over time his oaths started to grow weak because I think he started to drift from his commitment to those oaths in a way, right? But I don't think he ever explicitly broke his oaths, right? So there's this weird question at the end of the book is, where does he stand with his oaths? Where does he stand with this bond sort of thing? And where does he stand with like the armor as well? Because the armor did come back, right? Those spren that make up his armor are still around, you know? So that's just an interesting thought that we really we don't have any answers to.
The implication.
But the implication, right.
So that's Sunlit Man, I would say.
That's Sunlit Man, yeah.
Solid. It was really solid.
Good.
Can't wait. Now we got to talk about the prologue to Wind and Truth.
Oh, shit, that's right.
Fun little guest segment. Extra segment for you guys. Gavilar's POV of the night he died.
Pretty crazy. Yeah.
Thydakar showed up.
It
was like a whole party, man.
Yeah. A few heralds.
A few.
Yeah. Stormfather kind of fucking with a Gavilar.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And that it was kind of like Dalinar was the key the whole time.
Yeah.
That's all we wanted to say.
I mean, it's a crazy prologue, but like, for the most part, we did know a lot of it already.
We just didn't know that he talked to Thydakar.
Right. Yeah, we just didn't know that he had a specific conversation with Thydakar.
And now we do. We know it's clear that it's like, yeah, so Kelsier just wants Biotomus from...
Yeah, Kelsier is trying to find a way to get a physical form that allows him off of Scadrial.
Which I don't think he has gotten yet.
Doesn't seem like it.
Wax and Wayne is supposedly after the first half of Stormlight.
Or at least within the same couple decades or so.
That's what I've heard, is that it's around that same time or right after it.
It's around that time.
So he hasn't yet.
But who knows? By Space Age, by this book, he could. Very well could.
Hey, man.
Have a physical
Ghostbloods.
body. Yeah.
There's nothing to say that Ghostbloods is taking place all on Scadrial.
No, there's not. But
Mraize could be one of the main characters in it.
Mraize could be in that book for all we know. I guess we'll find out
in Wind and Truth
if Shallan kills Mraize or not. It would be kind of complete for her character to like
kill Mraize,
have a final showdown with Mraize. Because he has been kind of a direct antagonist to her throughout the series.
Yeah, just as long
he's been using and manipulating her this entire time.
Just as long as Eotil is,
especially at the end of the book where she's like, "Oh, I declare war on the Ghostbloods."
As long as I think Eotil,
I think that's how you say
is left alive, so that there's still that Rosharan kind of
connection.
Yeah,
in one way or another, the Ghostbloods will get a contact on Roshar. So
if they don't already have one,
yeah. I mean, they do through Mraize. He's there.
Oh, yeah. And Eotil.
Yeah.
Duh.
So, yeah.
I'm caught up.
He's caught up, guys. And we got less than 50 days until Wind and Truth.
I'm freaking out, man. I'm freaking out.
I'm so hyped, though.
I'm so hyped.
So hyped.
It's going to be so good.
Man.
So, yeah, we're planning on probably doing not one podcast for it. We're actually going to probably do a part by part.
Yeah.
We're going to try
to do part by part.
I think that would be much more digestible. So you can read with us.
Yeah.
Isn't that cute?
That'll be fun.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Even though I'm going to read it all in like 2 weeks.
Dude, chill. I'll probably read it all in 2 weeks as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. 2 weeks? Are you kidding?
Yeah. So maybe we won't do part by part.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's... Why would I say
that's Sunlit Man?
That's been lost in the Cosmere. It's over, guys.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. That's been the Sunlit Man podcast. Yeah. So,
comment what books you'd like us to read in the meantime. Yeah. Or after
Wind and
Truth. But
yeah, I think. And
I just read Black Tongue Thief. Comment if you want Cullen to read Black Tongue Thief.
I do.
Cullen's currently reading Dune Messiah.
I am
in preparation for the movie that'll come out next couple of years.
I don't know if I really want to talk about it.
No?
Because I think they're going to change a lot of stuff.
Gotcha. They probably will.
Yeah. 2 chapters in, they're going to change a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a little old school.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, comment down below what other stuff you want us to read. I want to read Jade War and Shadow of the Gods. Anything John Gwynn. I think those are good ones.
John Gwynn. Okay.
Yeah. And all those Sarah J. Maas girlies out there, I've been told that I have to read Throne of Glass.
Oh, yeah. Comment if you want him to read...
No, I'm not reading ACOTAR.
Throne of Glass next. Okay? Because if we get enough comments or likes on a comment saying he has to read Throne of Glass, that'll be the next series he has to read. And I'll reread it with him, too. And maybe we'll have a guest appearance.
Oh, yes.
For some of those books.
Maybe we will.
Because my fiance is a big fan of those books.
Yes,
and she wants an excuse to reread them.
Does she?
Does. She does.
Then maybe.
Alrighty.
We'll catch you guys when Wind and Truth comes out.
Or sooner.